If you break it down, the message we get from a lot of our songs and the singers who sing them is that success is about filling your life with stuff, people, and parties. We should never be bored. We must always be entertained, or we might shrivel up and die on the spot. Which kind of stands in stark contrast to Jesus commanding us to not worry about what we will eat, drink, or wear, and to Paul instructing us to make it our ambition to lead a quiet life, minding our own business, working with our own hands, so our daily lives win the respect of outsiders. I know that's a simplistic contrast, but we are faced with the dilemma nonetheless, that the majority of our lives are filled with the seemingly mundane, and my question tonight is this: is it true that our lives are full of things that are boring and we have to spend a lot of time, money, and energy doing and getting a whole lot of things to make it more exciting? Or is there something we are missing? I'm a bit of a word geek, and I discovered boring has two meanings. Either boring, as in stimulates no interest or excitement, or boring, to access the inner or hidden parts of something or someone. So, is our life boring or boring? As we try and fill our lives with noise, activity, and excitement to stop it being boring, are we actually missing the invitation of God to really know Him? Can we turn boring into boring? Here's 10 different opportunities for us to turn boring into boring. Housework. Either mind-numbingly painful, repetitive activities that cause us to question our reason for existence, or doorways to intentional connection. How? By attaching a prayer focus to every activity. Every time I do the dishes, I pray for my friends who don't know God yet. Every time I hang up the washing, I pray for my kids. What could your repetitive activities be opportunities for? Waiting. For a coffee, for a late friend, for a doctor's appointment, for a bus. You have two options. You can either do nothing and become frustrated, or you can be on the lookout for something. What if we turned every opportunity where we are waiting into looking out for God, looking out for Him in the faces of people or in the creation that surrounds us? What if we use the time we're waiting on the lookout for finding Him? Enjoying creation. We are so plugged into technology to entertain us, to our Xboxes, our internets, our TV on demand, our movies, our music. All these things filling our lives with noise that can so distract us that we miss God and the wonder of His creation. I dare you, go outside, listen to the birds, take your shoes off, run in the grass, smell the flowers. Take the time to find Him there. At times I wonder if Facebook and Twitter have become tools for convincing ourselves and other people that we don't have boring lives, or checking that other people aren't having more fun than we are. Kind of cracks me up that on Facebook it's called a status update, like I need to up my status and make sure everybody reads about me first. If the thought of not checking your Facebook, your Twitter, your email, or your cell phone for a whole day freaks you out, you need an intervention. Try a day and see what happens. So often I hear people say, "Oh, the Bible is boring." And I ask, when was the last time you actually read it? The Bible can be hard to read because it's powerful when we do. There's a real spiritual battle that goes on here. But I encourage you, if this is something you haven't done for a while, have a go. Aim for once a week for 10 minutes. Start small. And if you fail, just try again. Before you start reading, ask God to meet you in the pages. Ask an old person, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you were 25? Our culture devalues old people, yet some of the best stories and the best ways of enjoying and understanding life can be found in someone who has been on planet Earth longer than us. Turn off your car stereo or your iPod and ask God, what are you thinking about right now? We so fill our commuting time with noise that we miss a golden opportunity to connect with God. Love for a lifetime. Our culture sees relationships as disposable. If they stop being exciting or they get hard, chuck it, find a new one. Maybe the one time a pop song got it right was with, I will choose to love you, even though I'd rather get angry, even though it'd be easier to walk away. I will choose to stay. Make biblical food. On a day where it's possible for you to take your time, have a go at making bread and think about all the places where yeast is talked about in the Bible. Or cook fish and think about all the time and interactions that Jesus had with his disciples over food. Or if you're pressed for time, grab a spoonful of honey, chuck it in your mouth and think about what does it mean to taste and see that the Lord is good. I dare you to make a list of all the food mentioned in the Bible and eat your way through it. It's a new idea for interactive devotionals. What about work? Is it a necessary evil? Do we work to live? Where is God in the middle of our workday? I guess for me, this is where attitude is everything. What are the small tweaks that we can make to see God at work or to show God at work? I'm a professional pastor now, but the place I found God the most was in my 3 years working full-time at McDonald's, where I made it my job and my intention that every time I said, would you like fries with that? In my head I was thinking, would you like God with that? How would your work day change if you saw every shift or every day as a sermon read by your workmates? Would that change anything for you? How are you salt and light in that place? These are just a few suggestions of how we can turn boring into boring. It would be awesome if you could think about what are the opportunities in your life to find a way to meet him.